care.
Amazing, amazing.
All right, well, I'm Donnie.
And I'm Jason.
And we are the creators of the KTown Connects podcast.
Might have heard of us.
We are putting on this event here. Since 2020, we have been connecting Kenosha with our podcast. We have over 125 interviews with awesome Kenosha people, so listen and subscribe on your podcast provider. Do us a favor as well. Follow us on social media, okay? Please, please.
Right. And we're the presenters here of the Know Your Vote Kenosha Mayoral Forum 2024. On air, all right. Sponsored by About Time Moving Systems, Casey Family Options, Funerals and Cremations, and Frank's Diner.
Love me some Frank's Diner.
Yeah,
Huh?
to thank all those sponsors for doing that for us.
Yep, and we want to thank all the candidates for being here. Thank them so much, and want a special thanks to all of you wonderful people for showing up to Know Your Vote. So let's get this started, huh?
All right. So on the KTown Connects podcast, we have our guests on, and we do a little warm-up with our guests, where we ask them some silly questions, kind of make sure the microphones are working, and make them a little more comfortable about it. So we're going to do that today. But first, we're going to bring the guests out. First up, we have Lydia Spotswood.
Give it up.
Lydia, come on out. Lydia, come on out.
Lydia.
She's right behind that curtain.
There we go. There she is.
Yeah,
There we go. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Right there is your seat. All right. Let's bring out Mary Morgan. There she is.
And Andreas Meyer.
Let's bring out Kelly McKay.
And Tony Garcia.
Elizabeth Garcia.
Corey Elijah.
David Bagdala.
And Gregory Bennett. Now, folks, like I was saying before, we like to do a little warm-up with our guests on our show, and we're going to do that today with these candidates. Make sure they get comfortable, their mics are working and everything, and then we'll get to the real show.
Just a little fun.
A little fun.
Right away.
Just some short questions. We're going to start with Mr. Bennett here on the end. Mr. Bennett, where in Kenosha would you recommend, where in Kenosha did you have your last great meal?
Last great meal. It's my mama's house.
There you go. Just work our way down the line.
Mr. Magdala?
I just had a great burger from Captain Mike's downtown, and I had some great hot wings at Ron's and an amazing pizza at Villa de Carlo.
Ooh. Wow, that was a busy day.
Yeah, wow,
Mr. Elijah?
At home, I like to cook a lot myself, so I like to spend a lot of time at home and make my own meals.
nothing like that home cooking, right, Corey?
Breakfast, daily dose. Lunch, Bob is standing room only. And for dinner, pennies.
Wow. You're up, Mr. Garcia.
Tacos are right in Kenosha.
Our first job, tacos all right. Great place.
Kelly.
Did you know that Frank's Diner is open late now? Hyde and Cheese is making sandwiches there, so I had a great sandwich and soup last week. It was awesome.
Delicious.
Frank's Diner is a great sponsor of this event. Thanks for the extra plug. Mr. Meyer.
Always fantastic tacos and soup at Los Compadres.
Nice. Mary.
Oh, we got a mic issue here.
This is why we're doing this.
Yeah.
Well, let's just jump to Lydia real quick.
Oh, got a mic issue with Lydia too.
Oh, boy.
Rebecca. There you go. Is it on there?
Oh, there you are. There you
It's
are.
on there.
Lydia, we got you. Mary?
Yes.
No, not. I don't know. Here. We're not hearing her.
Well, while they're fixing this is a fundraiser for the road.
Also, wait. We have to make an announcement. We have people standing on the sides. So any people that are on the edges, can you kind of move some seats in to make room for these people that are stuck standing here? We're trying to squeeze people in. So if possible, can you squeeze over a few seats? And kind of be kind to your neighbors and kind of let people in here, please. Thank you.
Bill, come back to me. Let's try Mary one more time.
Okay. My most.
There she is.
Oh, here we go.
There's Mary.
Better. Yeah, I had my good meal at Mad Rooster. I go every other Thursday with my friends, wear a t-shirt to lunch, and we have our favorite waiter, Chad.
All right, Lydia. You're up.
Last night I had a wonderful dinner at Gerhard's. I can recommend their pear martini.
Ooh. Wow, all right, we got one more, then we're going to get on with the real show. We're going to start with you, Lydia. What now closed Kenosha business do you wish you could bring back?
Manja's.
Ah, nice.
I miss Manja's.
Yeah, it's a great place.
Wonderful.
Mary?
The Keno Outdoor. Good times with my kids and grandkids.
Why they tear that down? Mr. Meyer.
Ashling on the Loud.
Nice. Mr. McKay?
I'd say Red's roller rink. With Mike's Great State, it used to be downtown one time. It'd be cool to have a roller rink downtown.
Mr. Garcia?
Big White Restaurant, because that's the place I grew up when I was in college.
Ah, all right.
Mine is also Manja.
There you go.
Yep.
Mr. Elijah.
Oh, mine is also the Keno Drive-In.
Yeah.
That's where I saw Spider-Man the first time.
Ah, very nice.
Good answer. Mr. Rydell.
You know, I'd like to see Chrysler back. I think that'd be great to have them back there manufacturing again.
And Mr. Bennett.
No lie, I'm gonna say KYF, because I used to cross y'all up there. I like KYF for the swimming pool, man.
Very nice.
All right, well, that was our Kenosha Canucks, and everybody's mics are finally working, so let's get on with the real show. But let's bring out our moderator and our timekeeper, Pete Sargent and Jenna Zion. Come on out!
Now the fun show begins.
Yes. Donnie warned me, Mike, you always assume the mic is hot. All right, thank you, Jason and Donnie. Appreciate that. Thank you, everybody, for coming out today and for all the mayoral candidates. Appreciate that. We'll start with Mr. Bennett. Now, Jason and Donnie have done a fine job breaking the ice, but we'll do a little bit more ice breaking here. Just start out with telling us what is your background, how long you've been in Kenosha, and what part of the community has had the most impact on your life.
I was born in '79 at St. Catherine's right there. You know what I mean? So I've been here since birth. I started at Frank School, went to Bain, then ended up going to Curtis Strange, moved over to Washington, then Bullen, then Bradford, then I graduated from Ruther and went to New York University. Then after New York University, I ended up going to the military, where I was Army, Spec Op, Sapper. I disarmed IEDs and interrogated people most of my career. After getting back from the military, I came back to Washington State, where I was actually there for 2 years, and then moved back home when my mom was sick. So after that, we opened up Peace in the Streets, started doing the Lincoln Center right there at Lincoln Park with the community. And then I started with the Coalition for Dismantling of Racism. I would say the people, you said the place that does the most for me?
No, they were the part of the community that's had the most impact.
The most impact was all. As far as when the city was going through stuff, we actually, as a community, behind closed doors, I see a lot. Well, I know I see him, and I see a couple people up here that's in those closed community meetings, where it's more actionable items, and we're actually trying to make sure that we as a community hold together and have unity. So I would say the whole city.
Appreciate it. Mr. Bogdala, same question to you. What is your background, your time in Kenosha, part of the community that's had the most impact on you?
Well, first I want to thank KTown Connects for having this. Thank Pete for thank you for moderating. I'm sure we'll probably get to some Cubs lineup discussion later on.
And free agents.
I've been here a little over 20 years in Kenosha. My wife Linda and I moved here. We started our family, Kate and John. My daughter's now 22, my son is 18. And Kenosha has just been amazing. I love Kenosha. I love everything about it. That's why 16 years ago I ran, became the alderman of the 17th district. I've enjoyed every single part of it. I think one of the things that's made the most impact on me is all of the people over the years that we've helped, whether it's businesses, whether it's individuals all across my district and the city. We've helped them navigate City Hall. We've helped them get things done. For the last 25 years, I've worked at Abbott, and I've been there. I started on third shift, working on the production line, moved my way up through the organization the last 7 years. I've been in charge of our crisis management program, which I'm responsible for 125,000 employees, their safety and security in over 100 countries. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bogdell. Mr. Elijah.
So I've lived in Kenosha my entire life. I was born in the St. Cat's Hospital too, a few years after 79, 88. But I grew up on the north side of town. I went to Grant Elementary School, Washington Middle School. Washington's actually where I learned how to video edit. That's what brings me to what I do professionally now as a content creator. Those skills that I learned on the north side of town and the friends that I had on the north side shaped who I am today. That's where I kind of developed my love for the city. I learned so much. It's a historic district in that Washington Heights area there. So yeah, just growing up on the north side, that's where I learned to love the city. That's where I learned to be myself, and that's where I learned how to become who I am today.
We'll move on to Ms. Garcia.
So I came to Kenosha in 2005 to go to UW Parkside. I did student radio there, and during that time I also volunteered at the Girl Scouts. I volunteered at Boys and Girls Club, and I would say that my most impactful time was with the Girl Scouts because I was able to serve traditionally underserved schools through the Boys and Girls Club CLC programs. And so I was at a lot of different, at one point I had like 18 troops. So I was working with a lot of girls, and it was a phenomenal time in my life. And I felt very, very honored to be able to do that.
Mr. Garcia?
Yes, I came to Kenosha when I was 11 years old as a migrant worker with my parents. I was educated in Kenosha. I went to Frank School, Lincoln, and graduated from Bradford High School. Graduated from Carthage College, elected County Board Supervisor District 20 in 1995, re-elected in 1997, served for 4 years, elected the Kenosha Unified School District School Board member. From 2016, re-elected in 2019, served 6 years. 21 years in education. I worked for Snap-on Tools, McWhite, Travel International, and also a supervisor at Chrysler. At this point, I work for Zion School District as a contract teacher, and I'm also a seasonal worker for the student department 8 years during the summer.
Kelly McKay?
Well, I was born and raised in Kenosha, and I'm also a third-generation Kenosian. I attended all KUSD schools and graduated Bradford in 1986. I went to radio broadcasting and communications program at Gateway Technical College, and most of my life I've worked publishing both at the Kenosha News and at Happenings Magazine. I'm currently a realtor with Century 21 affiliated, and I'm serving as alderperson for the 7th District. I also serve on the Public Safety and Welfare Committees, Transit Commissioner. I'm a member of the Museum Board and Parks Commissioner. My aim is to focus on education, community safety, and economic prosperity. And as a Kenosha mayor, that's exactly what I plan on doing. I've had 3 kids that went to school in this community. One thing I would say that sticks out most for me about the people of Kenosha is their generosity. I was going through a troubled time in my life, and the community really reached out, and I appreciate that.
Mr. Meyer?
So I was born and raised in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. I moved to Kenosha in 2009. I've been a lifelong activist for human rights, which started when I was about 10 years old. I remember in Sheboygan, I was protesting the Iraq War at their Fountain Park every weekend for, I don't know, a month or two. When I moved to Kenosha, I started school at UW Parkside, and I think that's really one of the most valuable times I've had in Kenosha. It really allowed me to grow more as a person. There I studied anthropology as well as political science and economics. And at this point in my life, I feel like I am very ready and prepared to translate my knowledge and experiences in local office.
Ms. Morgan?
Hi, I'm a 73-year-old single white female, and Kenosha is my hometown. I moved back here about 9 years ago, But previously I lived at 924 73rd Street and went to St. Mark's Catholic School. I'm a mom and a grandma, and I've had a wonderful career in the medical profession. I worked for 23 years as office manager for Dr. Raza Khan, and then 13 years as account manager for Dr. Aaron Dworn. Now I'm happily living the retired life to the fullest, enjoying life to the fullest. I attend church at Our Lady of Mount Carmel. I'm a member of the Republican Women of Southeast Wisconsin and the Republican Party of Kenosha. And so I'm pursuing life to the fullest, having a good time.
And Ms. Spotswood?
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank Pete for moderating our sponsors and for citizens from throughout Kenosha who are joining us here today. Yes. My professional background is in the field of
Can't hear you.
1, 2, 3. We're here.
I got you now. Okay, go ahead. We'll give you the full minute.
I get a whole minute now?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. My professional background is in the field of healthcare also. I trained to become a surgical nurse, led a pediatric cardiovascular team, as well as an operating room system in a university hospital. As chair of the Public Safety and Welfare Committee on Kenosha City Council, I led the development of our federally qualified community health center. I went on to serve on regional and statewide systems, working to expand healthcare access and resources to medically underserved communities throughout the state of Wisconsin. As a nurse, mom, and community leader, I believe every child deserves to grow up in a healthy community, a place that is welcoming, inclusive, and sustainable. As to what has had the largest impact on my life in Kenosha, it's my faith family at First Presbyterian Church. And a shout out to all of you who are here today. Between our minister, who is actually the fire chaplain for the city, Lance Lovell, and all of the members of the church, I have had so much joy and experienced so much grace in my faith family. I look forward to your questions this afternoon, and I'll leave a little extra time for whoever's coming next.
Very good. Appreciate that. So now that we've got to know you all a little bit better, I'll go start again with David Bogdala and ask, why did you decide to run for mayor of the city of Kenosha?
Well, thanks, Pete. Really, first and foremost, it's my love of the city of Kenosha. This is the only city that my children know, and it's an amazing city with amazing people, with amazing businesses, and a lot of different things. And I want to make sure that we continue to deliver the positive results we've been able to do. And I want my kids to have, if not the same, but more opportunities than I had. And I think when you look around, we're going to talk, I know, in detail tonight about some of the various projects. Those are projects that I have helped to champion, whether it's the downtown, whether it's the Kenosha Kenosha Innovation Neighborhood, the Uptown redevelopment. All those are things that I have championed as a leader on the council floor. I believe that it's vitally important here with Mayor Antramian, who's done a great job as a leader of this city for a number of years. We need a leader that's ready. We need a leader that understands the project, understands the parties, and that's ready to go to work on day one. And I believe I am that person that will do that.
Corey Elijah?
I'm running for mayor because, as hard as it may be for people to stomach this, there's two Kenoshas that we live in. There is a prosperous Kenosha, and then there's a Kenosha that led to the turmoil that we saw in 2020. A lot of the effects of 2020 have not been repaired, and I feel like it is imperative that not only to repair the disheartening moments that we went through in the past, but to lead to a prosperous future that is designed and preparing our future for our young individuals. It's imperative that we have younger leadership come in, take over the reins, and try a new path forward. In the city, we've gone on the same wheel for over 100 years with the Industrial Revolution. Now we're at a new Industrial Revolution, and it's time for a younger generation to take the reins and show the future behind them that it's possible for everyone.
Elizabeth Garcia?
I'm running for mayor because I think working class families should have a seat at the table. I think we should have a say in the policies in our city. Also, I got sick of driving around and thinking, I wish somebody would, or if I were mayor, I would. It's never ending. Often I'm calling the city to report stuff. I'm kind of a busybody. I'm aggressively helpful. I tried getting help from my alderman. He ignored me. I tried getting help from the traffic engineer. He ignored me. And I was getting yelled at when I was on my county commission. I was volunteering, and I figure if I'm going to get yelled at least I should get paid for it.
Tony Garcia.
Thank you. Just to let you know, we're not related.
So noted, sir.
I'm running for mayor because of my extensive and diverse experience in community relations, civic affairs, and educational service to this community. My 10 years experience as elected official is a fellow member of this committee who deeply cares about this present and spirit of Kenosha. And I believe in the power of unity and strength that comes from embracing our diversity and the endless possibilities that lies ahead when we work together for a common goal as a community. Together as a community, we can build a brighter future for our children and our grandchildren, a safer community for families, and a more prosperous city for all. Thank you.
Kelly McKay.
Kenosha is not just where I'm from, it's part of who I am. As a third-generation local who spent over 30 years working for small businesses, I'm a proud small business owner myself, a real estate professional, and I'm a father of a victim of a violent crime. So I've seen the impact of that up close. My drive is to serve is deeply rooted and it's personal. As your mayor, I'm making collective vision a safe, professional, for prosperous Kenosha a reality. I'm talking about boosting our local economy, making housing more affordable, ensuring the best education is within everyone's reach, enhancing our quality of life, and keeping everyone's streets safe. I'm ready to give back and serve you. The people of Kenosha, as your mayor, Kenosha is more than just where I live, it's who I am.
Mr. Meyer?
So the most basic building block of a community is fulfillment of basic needs. I feel like Kenosha is really struggling with this. Our lack of clean water, we have lead forever chemicals, we have food deserts in certain neighborhoods, basically no affordable housing. We keep closing our schools, they're not adequately funded. With public safety, we have police brutality, we have no emergency services on the east side. These are the priorities as your next mayor.
Ms. Morgan?
I'm running for mayor to help restore peace once again to the city of Kenosha. During the past few years, Kenosha has endured so much unrest and turmoil. We've had the ill-fated lockdowns and restrictions of COVID. We have had 3 agonizing, never-ending days of our riots, and now we face the future perils of the politically contentious casino and westward expansion. Kenosha is an amazing place to live, and we have so very many assets and amenities available to us. We have our beautiful Lake Michigan shoreline. We have the finest police and fire departments, many, many hardworking and dedicated city employees. And of course, we have location, location, location. I'm so excited to have this opportunity to help restore peace once again to Kenosha. As mayor of our city, in order to achieve this peace, I will adopt a more moderate, constitutionalist approach to politics. And that's why I'm running for mayor. Thank you.
To Lydia Spotswood now.
I too am running for Kenosha because I love this community and I've had a wonderful time being very active in our community. Kenosha is going through a time of dramatic transformation as long envisioned urban renewal projects are kicking into high gear. These are projects that we envisioned all the way back into the 1990s. As a candidate for mayor, I bring an extensive record of over 20 years of experience in local, regional, and statewide public service, and nearly 40 years of community service here in Kenosha, and as president of the U.S. Army Medical Auxiliary when my husband and I were in Germany as part of his Army career as a member of the Medical Corps. I bring a record of results in public and private organizational development, and my nursing background has taught me the value of effective listening skills and team building. I believe those traits are going to be critical in months ahead and the years ahead as we work together to move Kenosha forward.
Mr. Bennett?
Just being honest, I'm a disabled veteran, so honestly, you are a reflection of leadership. So hands down, everybody that want to complain, I want to be the reflection of. If you're going to complain, then you need to stand up and start doing the work too. Every time we sit here, we complain. They've been running this race for a long time, but we're still in the same place. Kenosha's been in turmoil since the 70s. Since Chrysler got shut down. Since CYC was shut down. Since KYF was shut down. We, the people, are supposed to stand up and try to make the change and be the example. As a veteran, I sit back and I look, even as a state worker, my mental health and my degrees as far as that as an agent. I sat back, we have no mental health facilities. We're putting mental health people in with the senior citizens inside those living facilities. That's dangerous. The streets are still looking the same. That's dangerous. And we're giving the same answers, dancing the same thing. There's a left and right when you need to walk a straight line when we all need to be united. That's why I'm running.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. We'll start the next round with Corey Elijah. And I know, Corey, you touched on a little bit with the last question, but I wanted to ask you what you see as one or two of the biggest challenges facing Kenosha right now.
The biggest challenge is youth retention. If you look at the statistics, about 750 people are fleeing the city every year. It's forecasted to do so until 2030, maybe even beyond that. Without our youth, we're not going to have a tax base. Without having a conducive environment for young people to be able to purchase homes, get good jobs where they can actually afford to purchase these homes, Kenosha is going to be in turmoil. You know, things look nice now. We have a nice lakefront, but we've seen in the past, when I was a kid, downtown was desolate. And we can easily get back to that situation unless we're proactive about the types of companies that we're bringing into the city and the type of environment that we're creating for our young people.
Elizabeth Garcia?
Having enough housing stock of apartments to lower rents and quality starter homes in walkable neighborhoods to attract and keep young people in Kenosha, as well as ADA compliant housing in the historic neighborhoods. Kenosha's culture depends upon artists, bakers, entrepreneurs, musicians, makers, and small business owners. Even being able to volunteer, like all of that time, your ability to create, it's all predicated on your free time. If we don't have people who can go and create, our culture is going to be lost.
Tony?
Yes, one of the challenges that we see is healthcare. I have personally seen the devastation that drugs brings to families. Housing. Having affordable housing will always continue to be a top issue for the community. Education. Closing the educational achievement gap between groups that define as socioeconomic status, race, ethnicity, and gender. Public safety is always top priority of a city. Budgets. Raising the level of service without raising taxes. Infrastructure, our roads, water and our sewer system. Also, our economic development is one of the most discussed topics that helps gain in business and growth in the city. Technology, let's look at the technology that we have now. We need to focus on new technology because the solution we envision today may be obsolete in 10 years from now. And my final one is demographic diversity and inclusiveness. We ought to be focused on fostering diversity and inclusiveness. We know that diversity is one of our greatest strengths. Opportunity and inclusiveness is a critical benchmark of a successful city.
Kelly McKay?
What's the biggest challenge facing Kenosha? I believe it's our identity and possibly our self-esteem. We're at a super important time for our city. We're figuring out who we want to be. It's like Kenosha's looking into a mirror and wondering what makes us special and how can we show that to everybody else. Let's come to terms from our past. We should be proud of our city. There's some cool history, awesome people, and we're really strong together. Let's share positive news about what we're doing so people everywhere can see how great Kenosha is. We want our city to be famous, but for all the right reasons. As mayor, I promise to help make our city even better. I'll make sure we all work together, celebrate our wins, and get everyone talking about how wonderful Kenosha is. Let's make Kenosha the best place to be, not just for us, but for everyone who hears about us. I've been accused by friends and family of being Kenosha's biggest cheerleader. I think they're right. And I'm grateful for all the love and support they've given me, and I'm ready to be Kenosha's mayor.
Mr. Meyer?
To me, the biggest challenge is homelessness and poverty. We have so many people that are struggling with homelessness, struggling to pay their rent, and just generally struggling with low wages. I plan to start and increase drastically urban agriculture throughout every neighborhood of Kenosha to supply everybody with healthy, organic, fresh food. Bring in more livable wage jobs. To me, all labor is skilled labor, and if you are working, if you are putting in 8 hours, you deserve a living wage no matter what you're doing. I also want to start a tiny homes program and use these throughout the entire city, every neighborhood, tiny homes that are owned and maintained by the city government, community controlled, and affordable.
Ms. Morgan?
Well, I don't think we have too big of challenges here. We're pretty good. But we do face unforeseen challenges, which I would perceive to be the biggest ones. We don't know what's coming down, but we should be ready. And then, on the other hand, I think another challenge is the unnecessary spending, and we have infrastructure to deal with. I think that Fiber City is an example of unnecessary spending because Starlink would have made much more sense. It's so much easier rather than adding to the already stressed infrastructure.
Ms. Spotswood?
Well, first of all, I'm going to do Ms. Bogdalov's job for him, I'm afraid here. The city of Kenosha is not paying for Fiber City. That is being donated to the city. And it's going to have a wonderful effect on our technology, communications, online access for people everywhere in our city. So citizens of Kenosha are not paying for this system. Mr. Bogdala, or Kelly, you can correct me if I'm misstating that. It's my understanding. The company is making the investment. So getting back to your question, Pete, the biggest challenge, I think, is managing growth. We're in a period of very rapid growth in our city. And we really need to work toward family supporting jobs, and we really need to increase access to affordable housing throughout our city. I've been listening to neighbors across Kenosha. It's clear to me we all want trustworthy leaders who get results. I've been and will continue to be a champion for Kenosha, leading efforts to expand our economy with family supporting jobs, establishing safe, welcoming neighborhoods with affordable homes, and leading efforts to create a better quality of life throughout our city.
Mr. Bennett?
Kenosha's like our phone. It needs to update. We're in the past, like for real. If you look at us, I'm proud of Kenosha. Don't get me wrong, Kenosha's in my blood. But at the same time, we need to upgrade. I got a free upgrade around the corner. Just vote February 20th. See what I'm saying? The thing is that the youth have stuff, the elderly have stuff. The median don't. Only thing they have is alcohol. Minimum wage, down. Rent, high. I mean, I would love to go to work, but if I gotta work all the time and not see my child, then what are you choosing to do? All right, you on a government program, for how long? You can't get government assistance unless you're gonna get what? A job. And at the same time, the father has to be out if you're a female. We need more resources. We need more tangible, actionable items. The thing is that they're always hanging a peanut over you, but not giving you a true actionable item with a date and time stamp. We need tangible, actionable items.
Mr. Bogdala?
Well, the number one concern that I've heard all across the city is public safety is a major concern. And again, that's something that we need to address and take care of. But I think it's important that we recognize the great progress that we've made. Violent crime is down. All the crime statistics, if you look at them all across the board, are down. That's why it's important to elect a mayor who actually understands that, knows that, and is ready to work with them on that. Probably one of the biggest other issues is the lack of an emergency room on the eastern part of the city. More than half of the city has to travel 6 or 7 miles. If somebody here had an accident or had something happen, rescue squad pulls up and they're going to drive all the way out to Aurora and out to St. Catharines. That's just not, we can't. All the development that we're going to be having in this city over the course of the next several years, we can't have that. So we need to make sure that we're working towards having an emergency room available for everybody here in this area. So that's going to be one of my major focuses of the first 4 years of my administration.
Thank you. Let's pick up on something that Mr. Bogdala just said, talking about developments in this next round. We'll start with Elizabeth Garcia. And when I start naming off some of these, I'm going to start missing some of them. There's the Kenosha Innovation Neighborhood. There's new developments in the downtown and the uptown, and not necessarily, we can throw the casino in there too, although that's private and less of the city. But what are your thoughts on some of those developments, and how crucial are they for the next mayor to keep going and keep that momentum going?
So I'm not a fan of the casino, but enough people have voted for it, so it seems like that's happening. We'll have to see how it plays out. Regarding Kin, I saw a flyer this fall, like, hey, come down, we're having a listening session. And then this winter I saw a school is being built, so apparently I totally missed the boat on that completely, but as long as, the plan is to have mindful land use and affordable starter homes, I think that's beneficial for the area, because that's one of the things I hear from people is there aren't enough starter homes for young families. So if that's what, we can do with our development, that's what we should be doing. I want it to be easier for people to live, work, and play, and anything that we can do to support that is the best course.
Tony Garcia, your thoughts on keeping these developments and the momentum going for the next mayor?
Well, as a developer of a redevelopment project such as Kenosha Innovation Neighborhood Downtown Strategy Development Plan, it looks like it's a done deal. I do support growth of the city of Kenosha. As for the casino, the economic benefits of it are just boost local economy by creating jobs and generating revenues through tourism and entertainment. Casinos often offer entertainment options, hotels, restaurants, attraction tourists, and contribution to local entertainment scenes. And what are the benefits for the public service? Tax revenue from the casinos can fund public service, infrastructure, and social programs. But again, casinos can lead to addiction and financial hardship for individuals and families.
Kelly, I know you've been on the council for a lot of these as they've come down, so your thoughts, your perspective on these developments and how crucial they are, or maybe aren't, depending on your point of view moving in the future.
Yeah, thank you, Pete. So the Kenosha Innovative Neighborhood is in my district, the district I represent, and it's crucial for the city's revitalization. The construction of the new Lakeview Tech Academy in the Kin is a major step towards bringing advanced education to Kenosha's heart and will be accessible by nearby communities. I'm committed to advancing Kin development's transparency and with community involvement, as too many residents are unaware of ongoing projects. As mayor, engaging, listening, and including the community will be key in decision-making, ensuring developments are transparent, protecting local businesses and residents, and incorporating environmental and green building practices. On the city council, I opposed the casino, voting against it because it offered a poor deal for Kenosha, prioritizing short-term gains over substantial tax revenue opportunities, let alone the social ills as a community we would have to deal with. As mayor, I'm safeguarding the interests of Kenoshans in new developments. That'll be my top priority.
Mr. Meyer?
So personally, I'm not a fan of any of these projects. With the downtown strategic development project, we're building more condos. I don't think a lot of people in Kenosha can afford these condos. I don't know who they're being built for. I also fear that in a lot of these areas, it's going to cause massive gentrification. A lot of families might be kicked out of their homes and have to find other places to live because property taxes might go up, which means rent might go up for all of those tenants. I am concerned about that. With the Kenosha Innovation Neighborhood, we're investing in another school. We're building another school, and we just closed a ton of schools. A lot of this is kind of redundant and a waste of time. None of this helps the poor or the homeless. With the Uptown Lofts, which was supposed to be affordable housing, it's nearly $1,000 a month for a studio apartment. I'd be in favor in maybe tabling some of these projects or really changing what we're doing in these areas.
Ms. Morgan?
Okay, the downtown and the uptown projects, I think that it should be more of a let it be philosophy. I don't know that the city should be involved in it. Less bureaucracy and more freedom, and let capitalism do its magic. And then the casino, I think it should have been put to a referendum for all of us to voice our opinions. And then the Kenosha Innovation Center. It's a good use of TIF, but I think that, or I hope that, they have accommodations for the trade unions as well and the working people.
Ms. Spotswood?
As your mayor, I'll be committed to moving Kenosha forward. I want to see us move forward on the KIN project, Kenosha Innovation Neighborhood. I want to see the downtown plan brought to life. I am, however, a person with some reservations about the casino. As mayor of the city of Kenosha, I will be responsible for bringing forward that intergovernmental agreement and putting it to life. But I have some questions about some of the projected revenues and the structure that is anticipated in that agreement. Unlike some folks, I want to point out that when we develop the downtown and we start building up, we're creating tax base out of thin air. And what that means is it'll help control the increase in property taxes. It'll be a damper on what we experience in terms of increasing taxes. And we're using the same footprint going up, and that'll be an amazing thing to do. The KIM project is very exciting to me because it's a combination of an economic development involving research and development facilities, education, the K-Tech, but also workforce housing, making sure that people who go to work there will at least have starter houses where they can begin their life in Kenosha. Someone mentioned earlier the importance of young people coming to our community. This is the kind of project that helps make that happen.
Back to you, Mr. Bennett.
All right, so basically, the downtown area with all the private funding stuff, I don't believe, like I wouldn't disrespect the people that voted on it. If we the people really voted on it, and we the people want the private people to come in our city, then we the people must hold them accountable to actually putting money into the city and not just downtown. So if it's 450 million, they put 100 million to fix the roads to get downtown. You know what I mean? Just do the math when you're looking at all the stuff broken down. Then when you're talking about the KIM, then okay, cool. Do what you gotta do. But you still sprinkling sugar on boo-boo. The rest of the city is still looking like that. You ain't fixing the roads, you're not hiring local construction companies, you're not putting the money back into the city. You're only letting private funds come here and not actually for the people. We saying we the people and we for the people. Then what is it? What are the people actually gaining? They're not gaining anything if their cars are breaking down getting to those areas. You see what I'm saying? So at the same time, the local areas, when it comes to landlords, when it comes to anybody else that brings any private fund company here, you're not hiring people from the city, then how is it helping the city other than the people that own the marina and the rest of those buildings?
Alderman Bogdala?
Thanks, Pete. I support these projects 100%. They're projects that I've voted on. They're projects that I have been working with the current administration, my colleagues on council. Again, the downtown development, 100% agree with it. We need rooftops, and we've talked, over the years about having a grocery store on the eastern part of the city. There is food desert in that regard. How do you get there? When you talk to those developers, you need rooftops, you need foot traffic, you need people that are there. That allows it to happen. The KIN, again, great project that's actually going to, some of the things we talked about today, youth retention. What better way to start a facility there and to have a facility there where some young entrepreneur, the next Bill Gates or the next Steve Jobs may come out of Kenosha because they learned, they got a skill, they developed an idea, and they cultivated it, and we helped them make that happen. So 100% support that. The Uptown laws, again, we talked about affordable housing and all that. With that, we have that. And a grocery store on the first floor there on 22nd Avenue. So these are all great projects and ones that I will continue to foster as mayor.
Corey Elijah?
I think a lot of these, in terms of the casino, it's out of our hands. In terms of most of these projects, it's almost out of our hands, right? Like it's already, the process has begun. We're already so deep into this. They've already started building in the KIN. One thing that I did notice though is that who is working on these projects in terms of construction, for example, right? The foundation of the school is being built by a Racine firm. Don't know why there's not people that live in that surrounding area of the Ken that aren't being asked if they need jobs or would want jobs, even if they're just short-term, part-time jobs doing the construction. Those people on average are making $22,000 a year, and I'm sure they would love an opportunity to make some extra cash. In terms of the uptown area, we've heard, you heard it's affordable, you hear it's not affordable. We don't really know what that truly is. So I feel like downtown, they have a district that's controlled by the people. I think uptown, there needs to be a community land trust that is controlled by the people of uptown so they can harness their own futures in the uptown area there. In terms of downtown, I'm not sure if you know, but in 2018, we were going to allow a Chinese firm to foot the bill for what was going on until the president at the time shot that down. All money is not good money. Just because people are offering us cash to build stuff doesn't mean we have to take it. I think we need to think a little bit harder. I think we need to be a little bit more intuitive, and I think that there is technology at our disposal that we could utilize to help bring the cost of a lot of these things down.
Let's stick with the downtown community, and we talked about the downtown redevelopment. We'll start with Tony Garcia for this round. What is something or one thing you would do to help support the development of a stronger downtown community?
Thank you. As the mayor, I would support the development of a stronger downtown community to invest in infrastructure improvement communities. This could include beautification projects such as enhancing green space, pedestrian walkways, improving public transportation, access and support local businesses. Through initiatives like aspect improving grants or marketing campaigns to attract visitors. Additionally, focusing on sense of community through events, festivals, and cultural programs can help bring people together and create a viable downtown atmosphere. Redevelopment projects can rejuvenate urban areas by revitalizing infrastructure, improving living conditions, attracting investment, creating jobs, and community pride. They could also enhance longevity, promote economic growth, and increasing proper values, leading to more viable and prospective city overall.
Kelly McKay?
Well, I'd like to give incentives for new businesses to move into downtown that provide a more diverse climate. And by diverse, I don't mean necessarily, not only culturally, we need more recreational options as well. At one time, there were theaters, bowling alleys, skating rinks in downtown. Let's give businesses incentives to come down here and that have a retro as well as innovative feel and ideas for fun that don't necessarily include alcohol. Our already existing downtown businesses need help too. There are antiquated laws and ordinances that need to be revised to cut through the red tape of making downtown a unique place to conduct business. The Rhode, this very theater that we're in right now, needs help with their roof. A vibrant downtown Kenosha is the lifeline of our community. It's what attracts people to Kenosha. And as mayor, I'll do everything I can to help downtown Kenosha thrive.
Mr. Meyer?
So one thing that I'd really like to do is promote more family, youth, and community events and festivals in downtown. I was speaking with the Native American the ambassador of Southern Wisconsin, and I think it would be really great to have a 3 to 4 day powwow in Kenosha every year, celebrating the Potawatomi tribe and Kenosha's Native American history.
Ms. Meyer?
Okay, I would actively pursue a grocery store and a pharmacy and a bank to come downtown Kenosha. I would investigate turning that trolley barn into one of the above, make a great spot for it. I don't know what, that plan for the downtown Kenosha redevelopment has been so fluid and it changes all the time. I can't really keep up with it, but we really do need the grocery store. And I would brainstorm repurposing some of the existing city properties, change them up, mix them up and see what we can come up with. And then the other thing that I thought about was approach the Coast Guard. They have a small presence here, but I would like for them to become a bigger entity in our harbor. And then the Great Lakes Naval Base is 20 miles south, so we could team those two up for an unstoppable defense team for the Great Lakes.
Thank you, Ms. Morgan. My apologies there. Ms. Spotswood, go ahead.
So first and foremost, The best thing we can do for downtown is to bring the downtown plan to life. With more people moving into the downtown, that will create an amazing market, if you will, for new jobs and all kinds of amenities to be created. It'll be organic. It won't require a whole lot more injection by taxpayers to bring things forward and to build things up. So I'm very excited. I think I sound like a duet with Mr. Bactala down there. But I think this is crucial to seeing our transformation continue. I want to make sure that we balance new development with preservation. We have a lot of cultural history and architectural history in downtown Kenosha, like the Rhode Theater, where we're all sitting down right now. I want to make sure, as former chair of the Historic Preservation Commission, that we balance this out, because that'll make the character of our downtown richer. And finally, I just want to give a shout out to our public market and our harbor market. Public market is in the works right now, developing a plan to put in a new grocery store right down here, right down the street a little ways. And harbor market, as I understand, is anticipating trying to integrate into the newer development that's going to be happening. But these two markets have been a real blessing for our city, have brought countless tourist dollars into our downtown. I want them to both grow strong and be a part of the new downtown that we're going to be seeing down the road.
Mr. Bennett, go ahead.
I'm writing on my phone, I wasn't tripping. So I would do downtown, we need a veteran center. All right, you got a lot of homeless vets already down here, we don't have a veteran center. I would redo the KYF because guess what? That's enough for the youth, enough for the elderly, enough for the medians, okay? I would do a trampoline park. We need a trampoline park. Kids ain't really got nowhere. Kids everywhere want to find something to do. Then you say, well, why are they in the street? Why are they skateboarding by the library? You ain't got nothing in the city for them to do. Have something down here for them to do. And then if you must include a little bit of alcohol, since a lot of liquor companies are still here, right? You can still have a Dave & Buster's that can come downtown and actually thrive downtown. That'll create jobs and do everything else as far as that. Maybe an outdoor theater in the summer. You know, we got enough technology to make that happen. You still have another theater besides this one that's right down the street. And then I would redo all the roads. I get the marina is great. Nobody here owns the marina or a boat that's on the marina, with the most have-not. So put more inner city than just downtown, because the city still matters. And yeah, I'm gonna stop now because she took it already.
Mr. Bogdala.
Thanks, Pete. Again, first and foremost, you talk about all these different things that you'd like to see come into it. Again, our responsibility as being a responsible government is making sure we have a climate that actually is welcoming and that actually welcomes new types of development. And that means you got to make sure they have the right kind of ordinances, the right kind of policies in place that actually allow you to do that. I've done that as an alderman. I've rewritten a number of these to allow for the extended outdoor dining, to allow for things like the Pedal Tavern that's there. That wasn't allowed before. So you have to make sure that you actually are writing ordinances and putting forth policies that promote that, so that when you are going out and looking at some of these types of businesses and entertainment things that you're looking at, we actually have an environment people say, you know what, it's easy to do business in Kenosha and I want to start that business there. I want to bring that idea there. That's what we're going to do. In terms of the downtown, a lot of our roads are going to be redone as part of this project. So that's a great thing. So we'll be able to do that, invest in the roads downtown, get those all repaired, and then we can work on all the other roads across the city, which is something that we want to do, particularly on all the neighborhoods.
Corey Elijah?
The downtown's doing great. I think there needs to be more variety. I think we need to do some sort of addition of districting, having some sort of art district, entertainment district, having it more aligned in a way where it's more conducive to foot traffic, right? If you go downtown, you kind of are bouncing around from place to place. We need things to be more cohesive. We need more variety, and we also need a more welcoming atmosphere as well. You know, as someone that has, grew up in the city, my aunt still lives in the city. She's a business professional, works for Aurora. I ask her how often she goes downtown. She says never, because she doesn't feel comfortable or welcome downtown. That needs to change. We can't have people not going downtown because of ordinances, because of types of music that's being played or whatever it may be. We need to have Kenosha be a place like it was once before, that is welcoming to everyone. And we also need to have a festival that highlights that as well. something that rivals South by Southwest.
Liz Garcia?
Our public transit needs to run more often and on a grid. We need to make it easy for people to get downtown and stay downtown. I was talking to people who said they would go out more and stay out longer if they knew they didn't have to drive. Also, Sunday night should be a garbage pickup and street sweeping because we need to become a Monday morning town and we need to look open for business on Monday morning. When people come to downtown Kenosha and there's empty bottles and vomit all over downtown, there is no reason for them to open a business here because it doesn't look welcoming.
We'll start with Kelly McKay for this next question. What would you like to see for the continued support and partnership with the Lakeshore Business Improvement District?
Well, I think I envision a future where City Hall and Lakeshore Business Improvement Districts aren't just neighbors, but partners through progress. We need to form a rock-solid partnership between the city and the bid that means open dialogues to ensure strategies to align perfectly with the needs of both businesses and our hardworking residents as well. We want to streamline processes and get rid of the antiquated laws, make it easier for businesses to thrive and for the working people to enjoy the fruits of our prosperity. Safety and beautification and economic growth are at the forefront of this partnership. By working closely with the bid, City Hall will ensure that downtown Kenosha becomes a vibrant, safe, and prosperous for everybody. As your mayor, I know we can and will build a stronger, more connected Kenosha.
Mr. Meyer?
So what I really want to promote, not only near the lakeshore, but throughout Kenosha, are community-based business models called worker cooperatives. Now, in these businesses, they're like any other business, but they practice workplace democracy. So every worker is an equal owner of this business. There is no CEO. Everything is decided by voting. Your wages, your mission statement, what you're selling, elect your supervisors, all of that. It's all through voting. I'd like to put these all over the place. I'd like to promote kind of mini grocery stores in every neighborhood so that everybody has local healthy food that they can have access to. I believe they can be more successful because when everybody in your community or everybody in this business has, when they equally own it, I think it's better for equality and equity.
Ms. Morgan.
Okay. I walk through the downtown every day, and what I see we should look into is cleaning the sidewalks. They are not very appealing, and the false the storefronts, the windows and the plywood from the riots are still up, and it's just not appealing. And that's the two things that I would work on with Lakeshore Business, whatever their objective is, I don't know, but clean up the sidewalks and the storefronts to make it more appealing, because when I walk through, it's not.
Ms. Spotswood?
Yes, I've got some macro and some micro. On the micro front, I think we're going to have to rethink the planters for the trees that are on the sidewalks. They're chewing up a fair amount of parking space, and they just seem overly large. I think there are other areas in our parks, for example, we might want to move those to. Don't want to throw them away, but I think we need to dial that down just a little bit. And I also agree with other candidates here on the importance of maintaining cleanliness in the downtown, and working with the Lakeshore Bid to see what are the best ways to go about that, I think is important going forward. I think it's important to have the partnership. There have been times where this partnership has seemed tenuous in the city, so maintaining a budget that helps both of these entities to work as partners, I think, is important going forward. And in many ways, that budget connection between the city and Lakeshore Business District maintains lines of communication. And I think that's what business owners are looking for more than anything else.
To you, Mr. Bennett.
The lighting. The lights suck. The alleys are dirty. The whole thing is just, is really, we keep worrying about the wrong things. But if you worry about downtown so much, I would actually just say, like they said, cleanliness. But at the same time, making everybody more welcome. If you're going to run a business, then you need to have stuff for every person in the city. and you need to actually entertain those people in the business. Now, when it comes to the vacant lots, that means opportunity. Stop turning down the people that actually want to open up businesses downtown, that actually want to be owners. They turn them down and then nobody else has a chance. You can't always say yes or no. Give that person, if he has a right business model, he has a right business plan, everything, give them the same fair shake that you're saying you're giving everybody else, instead of just making a decision for everyone. I don't need a yellow card, you good, I'm done.
Mr. Bogdan.
I think it is all about the partnerships, and it's about accountability. But I think it's important to highlight, the bid is funded primarily through a tax that a lot of the business owners pay for. So I think it's important, first of all, when that budget comes forth, that's why I ask a lot of hard questions, I always have. And I think it's important that we maintain accountability as it relates to that. But I also think we need to continue the partnerships with the Tourism Bureau here, Visitors Bureau. I think they're doing an amazing job. I'd like to see more of that progress. I'd like to see them talk about some of the things. I've worked very closely with the director, Dennis Duchesne, and a number of his other folks on the staff there to figure out, what do we need to do to help maintain and continue the great things we've got going there. But I do agree we have to get back to basics. We need to make sure that our code enforcement is doing what it's supposed to do. We need to take care of some of those streetways and alleyways and sidewalks and things. And the only way to do that is actually get out and walk it. And that's what I do every single day in my district, and that's what I'll do all across the city. We're going to walk with the code enforcement officers. We're going to make sure that we're upholding those ordinances.
Corey Elisha?
I think it's important to have a fair, transparent, and cordial relationship with every citizen in the city, every resident of Kenosha. Not specifically just a business district, not just an individual business, not just a person. I feel like our leadership needs to be fair, transparent, and straightforward across the board with everyone. The business district, they have, like it was mentioned, they pay a tax. It's mainly their responsibility. I don't think it's necessarily leadership's job to come in and point the finger and tell people how they should do things. It should be a cordial relationship. There should be support if support is needed. But if the power is theirs, then the power is theirs.
Ms. Garcia.
I think I'd like them to help retail space become more affordable. I imagine they could also possibly expand their grants or get corporate matching grants so that we can encourage more owner-occupied mixed-use retail. It'd be nice if people could live above their businesses. But I can think of at least one beloved downtown Kenosha business that had to move out of Kenosha and cannot come back. They can't afford it, rent is, it's just not gonna happen for them. And I think that is really sad because people really, really miss those pies.
Tony Garcia. The partnership with the Lakeshore Business Improvement District.
Thank you. I will continue to support in partnership with Lakeshore Business Improvement District promote collaboration initiative to enhance the district attractiveness to visitors and residents. This could include a joint marketing effort to promote local businesses, organizing events and festivals to drive foot traffic, implementing beautification projects to improve the area attractiveness and providing support for businesses, development and entrepreneurship programs, building strong relationships and communication channels between the local government, businesses, and community stakeholders can also foster a thriving within the district.
For this next round of questions, we'll start with Mr. Meyer, and I think it follows up on your answer to the last one. But how would you translate the success of the downtown area into the other business districts and the other areas of the city?
So I think a lot of the success from downtown has been money. Downtown was prioritized by the city, and I think that led to its success. We poured a lot of money into it. The non-success of the other districts are mainly due to negligence by the city. Downtown was highly prioritized, and the other neighborhoods, were neglected. I think we need to invest more in other neighborhoods, promote the worker cooperative business model, mini grocery stores throughout urban agriculture and tiny homes.
To Mary Morgan.
I would translate success by inviting everybody to walk through the downtown. I think that would be so helpful. When I walk through the downtown every day, you learn so much and you see so much every day on a daily basis. And if you had different neighborhoods come and walk with us, it would be very informative and helpful.
To Lydia Spotswood.
Yes, the city can't really superimpose a business improvement district. It has to well up from the business owners themselves. The city can support, encourage, and nurture that happening, but we can't impose it. For me, one of the real tragedies was the city was working hand in glove with the Uptown Business District on the new streetscape for 22nd Avenue between 60th and 63rd. That all collapsed when the fires occurred in 2020. Businesses that have been there were gone. Now Uptown is being reinvented. I think there are opportunities as we go through the downtown parcel by parcel to see what new businesses may want to come and to do everything we can to nurture and support them. But we can't force it on an area that does not want to become a bid.
Mr. Bennett, translating downtown success to other areas of the city.
Transparency without accountability equals chaos. Downtown's been downtown forever. Some of the businesses that burnt themselves. It wasn't the people, but the inner city was still looking trashy before that, and it's still looking trashy now, and we're talking about building it up again. As far as the TLPs, transitional living facilities that people get second chances with when they get released from institutions, I think that those places are great for downtown. I think those need to be upgraded. I think that the senior living facility that you have down here needs to be a little bit more upgraded, maybe sometimes taking care of those people that's passing away and how they're actually handled could be done better. I think those alleyways, again, it should be done better. But people, she said it before, the actual public transportation to bring the inner city to downtown, that's how it would be affected. Remember when the big Kenosha used to have the big Kenosha little depot right there with all the city buses used to come right downtown? Now everybody can go there. It's still by City Hall, but the location before made it so everybody can actually get there. But downtown doesn't affect the inner city. The inner city is the inner city. Downtown is downtown. It's not the same. So it doesn't ever affect it.
David Bogdala.
So I think, again, it's pretty easy to market our lakefront. I mean, that's why you've got a lot of folks who are looking at doing that. And I think it takes a lot more effort on behalf of City Hall to actually get out into those other neighborhoods and take what we're doing there and apply that in other areas. And again, we talked about it being ad nauseum today, is we need to make sure that we have a process in place and ordinances that are put in place where we can expedite the growth of businesses. We give other businesses the opportunities that maybe sometimes right now it stifles it. You see, sometimes I've talked to a number of business owners over the years where they bring an idea to City Hall and it takes them a year before they actually are able to open up that business. We need to cut that down. We can do that in 2 or 3 months. Get those folks into those empty storefronts in various places across the city. That's how you do it. I've done that. I've championed that in a lot of different places. We're seeing the fruits of some of that labor, but we need to make sure that all of our ordinances, working with the aldermen of every district, to make sure we walk those areas, they know it, they understand it, and we help the businesses that are currently there, and we make sure we make it attractive for ones who want to move there.
Corey Elijah?
The question was about success, right? How to transfer the success to other places. I would say, how are we gauging success? Because people that are just getting by, even though it looks nice around where they are, they're still just getting by, right? I think the priority really needs to be, again, I mentioned this, is empowering the individuals to harness their own destiny. That's why in the Uptown area specifically, I feel like it would be good for them to have that community land trust. Just like the bid had business owners come together, pool their resources, pay a tax, and develop the downtown area, the citizens and residents of the Uptown area should be able to do that. And I think that's just a start. Maybe this is a model that we should see happening all over the city. It all comes down to what the people want. Of course, people have to come together to make these things happen, to start these things, but I feel like having the resources and having the support from the local government will help them actually know that it's possible to be able to achieve those goals.
Elizabeth Garcia?
So we need to change zoning to allow for mixed-use retail in the historic neighborhoods. We also need to support third spaces in these neighborhoods that can be reached via public transit. Flexible use amenities, allowing for things to double as bus stops, as well as farmers market stalls, or even a covered stage. People could do music, they could do movies in the park in their own neighborhoods with more infrastructure that encourages and allows people to congregate. We have that downtown. We need more year-round amenities like fire pits and even winter activities. I know we have a second skating rink that has opened. All of those things are great. We're a city with winter. I'm pretty sure we've always had winter in Kenosha. That's not anything new. So maybe if we had more year-round amenities, people would be able to have the same success in their neighborhood.
Tony Garcia?
Thank you, Pete. Translating the South Downtown to other business districts in the city requires a strategic approach, tailoring to each district's unique characteristics and needs. One approach could involve identifying key factors contributing to downtown success, such as strong community engagement, infrastructure, improvement in support policies, and adopting these strategies to each district. This might include implementing supporting local businesses through initiatives and market efforts, improving transportation access, fostering a sense of community through events and cultural programs. Additionally, leveraging lessons learned from downtown revitalization between different business districts can help spread best practice, ensure a more equitable distribution of the economic development benefits across the city.
To Kelly McKay.
Of course, everybody knows downtown in Kenosha. Do people really identify with our other neighborhoods? We need to do a better job of creating communities around those neighborhoods and give them some identity. We can use wayfaring to do that. We can implement uses of community gardens. That will spur business. I myself helped my partner start a small business in the center of the city. She's starting a school of massage therapy. We took an old building, we fixed it up. We need to give incentives for people to get back into these old businesses that are throughout the city, creating an identity for our communities, creating a neighborhood. This is how we get the city moving forward and replicating what's happening in downtown.
For this next round, we'll start with Mary Morgan. I want to ask the candidates about their favorite events around Kenosha. We have a lot of them. I don't want to start naming them because I'm going to not be able to name them all. But it's a two-pronged question. What's your favorite one? But then the ones where there is the partnership between the city and those events, whether it's the Pops or Celebrate America, if you'd be supportive of continuing those kind of partnerships.
Oh, well, my favorite is PB&J, and I think Frank and Kim do such a wonderful job, and it's just good for the community.
Lydia Spotswood?
It's the 4th of July in Kenosha. The city's all over it. The city's doing a wonderful job, and I think it brings so many people here. It's just a wonderful time together for those of us who live here and also for all the visitors who join us.
Would you continue the partnerships between the city and the different organizers?
Count on it.
Mr. Bennett?
Of course, I'm gonna say peace in the street, right? So, other than that, I would definitely go with Juneteenth. I love Kites Fest because that's the only one really like the city. Like, I love seeing kids be able to fly kites instead of being on roadblocks or something like that. I really just think Call of Duty's fire, but at the same time, if you don't know how to fly a kite, you ain't really been a kid yet. So I really like the Kite Fest. And then at the thing, I like Jazz in the Park at Lincoln Park because Lincoln Park's historical. I think that Jazz in the Park and then just having a smooth, mellow setback. They had the couches there. You can sit back, eat, and listen to great music. I enjoy those, and the city actually helped partner with those as well.
And you would continue those, support continuing those partnerships?
Definitely. I think that we need to encourage other people to come up with events themselves and start having the city support those events. I don't think there should be anything that should have we should never be in a box. You should be free. And if you feel like you want to start an event, I say write it down, put it pen to paper, and action, not acting, get to it.
David Bogdala?
Yeah, I mean, not only are we going to continue to support the ones we have, we're going to make it easier for people who want something new. I think that's part of what we should do. We should allow for people to experiment different things. I think, over the years, you've got stuff that's been going on for a long, long time, and they're very successful, but it didn't always start that way. So I think we need to also look in the mirror and say there's also other things we can do out there. Every church festival in the summertime is amazing. You eat way too much, all the downtown car show, the original Harbor Market down around the museum. I mean, it's been there for over 20 years. But the great thing about that is you've seen a lot of businesses that have actually come out of that Harbor Market that have now started there under a tent, and now you're seeing them expanding into other spaces. So I think we need to make sure that we're making things as easy as we can for folks to come forward who have new ideas, who have things they want to do, and we'll continue to expand that.
Corey Elisha?
My favorite event, and kind of biased because I'm the host of it, is the Mix Fest that we've had for the past 3 years. Midwest DJ Productions has put that on. And the reason why, not just because I host it, is because it's, in my opinion, the most inclusive and diverse event that we have, right? You have a variety of different music, you have people of all different ages and demographics coming together on the lakefront. Last year we had it at the Kemper Center, just dancing to different music. Music you maybe wouldn't necessarily listen to, maybe music that you love, right? But it's an environment to bring people together and also raise a bunch of money for childhood cancer research. So it's always a good message. It's always a mixed bag of people, and I always have a great time being there.
And as mayor, you'd be supportive of the city partnering with the different organizers?
Yes, I would be supportive, and I would love to bring in a variety of other events as well and partner with.
Elizabeth Garcia?
The out-of-sight kite flight at Kennedy Park. The reason it's my favorite, because no matter what, without planning, I will run into one of my friends and their kids. It's just because everyone's there. So it is a very family-friendly event, and it's one of the best festivals in Kenosha. And regarding continuing to partner with organizations, yes, obviously, Kenosha's a city of festivals. It would be crazy if I were like, I love the Kite Festival, I don't want any more. But what I do know is we need an alcohol-free festival, and it might be like something that celebrates our water utility, but there's something that needs to happen where we have just like one thing without alcohol, if we could. So that is the one thing I'd like to bring that we don't have.
Tony Garcia?
Of course, I will continue to support it. My favorites are the Peanut Butter and Jay Taste of Kenosha Antique Car Show, where we get over 300 cars there, and all the other entertainment that comes to the downtown area during the summer. Why? Because I enjoy watching people from Kenosha coming together during the summer just to have a wonderful time together, because this is what Kenosha is all about, bringing the community together.
Kelly McKay?
Of course. I mean, I've been very involved with community events in Kenosha. I mean, there was a couple years where I programmed the Peanut Butter Jam concerts. I helped set up Celebrate a bit. I designed the logo. Been very much involved as far as that aspect. But yes, I've organized my own Harmony Fest. It was a fundraiser last summer. So I believe we need more of this type of stuff to happen. And I think the city's doing a really good job right now. We need to continue down that path. We need to make it more diverse. The last great event that I went to was the Snow Days event that happened last weekend. That was incredible because it happened in the winter, and there was people coming from all over. There was people traveling for miles to come to Snow Days, and that was just amazing. We need to have more stuff happening in the wintertime in Kenosha. And yes, Liz is right, we do need to have some more alcohol-free family events as well.
Mr. Meyer?
My favorite Kenosha event would be Kenosha Pride. I think this festival is incredibly important and should be every single year. Unfortunately, Kenosha ranks 51 out of 100 on the Municipal Equality Index. We unfortunately have many local officials in Kenosha who support anti-LGBTQ hate groups. One thing that I really want to do is create a human rights department, and through this I want to create a new high standard of ethics for elected officials to follow, and a comprehensive anti-hate ordinance.
And would you support the continued partnership between the city and the different organizers?
Absolutely.
All right, very good. We are down to our final question, and it's very simple. Make your final pitch. Why should the voters cast a ballot for you? And we are up to starting with Lydia Spotswood.
Thank you, Pete. Before I say anything else, I want to thank you. I want to thank KTown Connects, Jason and Johnny, for all of your mentoring and microphone help. I want to thank all of the people who have come here today. I'm grateful to you, citizens of Kenosha, for your determination to play an active part in creating our city's future. You have invested your time today to allow every candidate to make our case for election to the office of mayor. For me, it has been a privilege to spend this time with you all. Today, I'm asking you for the honor of your vote. Working together, I believe we will move Kenosha forward as a city we can be proud to leave to those who will follow in our footsteps. Thank you all.
Mr. Bennett?
I said we was going reverse it. It's all right. All right. So,
Giving everybody the shot to be first.
funny. All right. So, action, not acting. Everybody talks a lot. Yes, a mayor has to read, has to write. Okay? We understand that the past is the past. Well, how do we want to look at the future? Somebody has to actually listen to you and actually do the work. Come down to your level. Help with the funding. Help with the real vision. The reason I'm running in the first place is because I'm tired of talking. Every day we're in the board meetings. Every day we're on the streets. Every day we're helping the homeless. Every day we're helping the veterans. Every day we're really in the city working. And we need not only you to be in the office, but we need you to be in the street with the people. If you're for the people, by the people, then why aren't you listening to the people? So I'm just here to actually be that voice. And if I understand you right, and I know you understand me right because I speak straight bluntly, I'm not trying to confuse you. I want you to vote. If you don't vote for me, vote for somebody. Encourage other people to vote. Use your voice. This is our power as a city, and we need everyone in order to make the city great. It's already great, but it could be way greater. All right? So please do the right thing and just go out and vote. Thank you.
David Bogdala?
Well, thank you, Pete. I want to thank you again for moderating tonight and everybody here who showed up to hear our answers to these questions. I think it's pretty clear. Kenosha's at a crossroads. We need a mayor who's ready, somebody who's got a proven track record, who's been out there working with the people, working with the districts all across the city. We need somebody who has the right public and private sector experience. I believe I have that. I believe that we need somebody who's ready to lead on day one. We talked about some of these big projects we've got coming up. This is the time when we need somebody who actually has been a part of them, who understands them, who understands the priorities, and is ready to start to work for you on day one. I think that's the biggest key. We also need a mayor who's ready to champion the city, not tear it down. We need a mayor who actually builds up. There's so many great things happening in Kenosha. We need a mayor who understands that and will be the cheerleader for the city, which I will be, I have been. So I'm asking for your vote on February 20th. Go to votebogdala.com for more information, and I look forward to working with everyone in the years ahead. Thank you.
Corey Elijah?
So we need a leader that can move on his feet, right? I'm the only person that doesn't have notes and isn't reading off a script right now. We need a leader that can actually answer questions without having to refer to whatever they were told beforehand. In terms of getting the work done, I mean, I'm not sure how many people here know who I am. Maybe you do, maybe you don't know. But what I can say is when things got tough in the city, I was there. When people didn't know what was happening, I was the source of the information. When things were burning, I didn't go home and hide. I stayed out there to make sure that people knew what was going on. In terms of being proactive, I was there not as an elected official, but as a concerned citizen with the county board, helping write legislation to make sure that we had body cameras. That wasn't after there was riots, that was before there was riots, because technology is paramount, and people in my generation know technology, we know how to harness it, and right now it's imperative to have someone young that understands the future to take the reins of the city and make sure that the people coming behind us actually, really, without having a script, have a good chance at a future.
Ms. Garcia?
We need enthusiastic young leadership. I want to guide policy in Kenosha to be more people-centered and common sense. I want Kenosha to be a beacon of clean water and nature-based solutions in the Great Lakes. I've demonstrated that I can work with people with whom I do not agree. As mayor, I know I'll never say that's not my job. City culture starts at the top. I'll be a leader who does anything to make Kenosha great. A vote for me, February 20th, is a vote for safe waters, safe neighborhoods, or safe streets and safe neighborhoods.
Tony Garcia?
Thank you, Pete. Throughout my 10 years of service in this community as an elected official for this community, Together we can build a brighter future for our children. I was educated in Kenosha and live here in Kenosha. I will strive to create a city where everyone can thrive, regardless of their background or circumstances. As a safer community for our families and more prosperous city of Kenosha for all. So I ask for your vote February 20th, not just for me, but the vision where we share and dream we dare to pursue. Thank you.
Kelly McKay.
Thank you, Pete. As mayor, my vision touches on prosperity, safety, education, and unity, and beauty. It's all about creating a community where every one of us thrives.
Hold on, Kel.
Yeah.
Got it.
Thank you. All right, do I get to start over again?
You do. Go ahead, Kelsey.
All right, I'm sorry, I have to have something prepared because it's really good. So, as mayor, my vision touches on prosperity, safety, education, unity, and beauty. It's about creating a community where everybody here thrives. Prosperity isn't just a dream, it's a plan. Together, let's attract new businesses and boost local ones, opening doors to jobs that pay well and offer a bright future for everyone. Safety is a collective promise. By supporting our local police and fostering community programs, we ensure that every neighborhood is a safe place to call home. Education is our commitment to our children's future. With better resources for schools and teachers, we guarantee that every child in Kenosha can succeed and chase their dreams. Unity is our foundation. Through more community events that celebrate our diverse backgrounds, we are reinforcing the bonds that make our community stronger together. Kenosha is not just a place, it's a community where everyone belongs. Together, we're a city that reflects the best of all of us. Visit kellyforkenosha.com. Help me become your mayor. Thank you.
Mr. Meyer?
So we have the incredible opportunity to make Kenosha a beacon of equality and prosperity and establish a new standard for all other communities to follow. We need to have an overhaul of the Kenosha Police Department and remove those who are contributing to the culture of violence and brutality. We need municipal Wi-Fi, living wages. We need to establish a green energy grid with a combination of residential solar farms, and offshore wind turbines. We need justice for Jacob Lake and Michael Bell. And if you agree, please vote for Andreas Meyer for mayor of Kenosha.
And Mary Morgan?
You should cast your vote for me because together we can restore peace and prosperity to the city of Kenosha. And this is a Trumpism. Together we can take America back. One small town at a time, one neighborhood at a time, and one new friend at a time. Thank you for your vote.
Thank you, candidates. We appreciate your time and sharing your views with us. And before we wrap up, I believe Jason and Donnie are going to say a few words from the KTown Connects podcast.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for being well-behaved, mature crowd. We appreciate that.
Loved it.
Thanks for Pete and Jenna for helping us out down
here.
here.
Give it up to Pete and Jenna. Thank you.
These great candidates here. Doing a great job. Do a shout out to our sponsors one more time. About Time Moving Systems, Casey Family Options, and Frank's Diner.
Yep. And let's not forget Portside Catering for those great snacks. Thank you, Jeanette. Thank you.
Thank you to Coach Community Media for being here to record
Thank
this.
you, Jason Remkis. We love you. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you to the Rhode for hosting us.
All right, everybody, there will be a meet and greet in the lobby. As soon as everybody clears out, they will all be out there shaking hands and kissing babies. So get on out there.
Thank you so much. It was great.